Just as a kind of two-parter, do you have any additional update on Chet and then just the kind of the heart of the team to make that comeback in the fourth quarter to give yourselves a chance?
Yeah, no update. We'll let you know when we have more information. Those guys, that group was great. Credit them. We were down by 30, I think, at one point, and they just played possession after possession. Really played the right way, stacked up some stops, and really got us in striking distance of that game. I mean, that was 15 with 6 to go, which is a very manageable place to be, and we got it even closer than that, obviously. But that group had a 48-minute mentality. They did a great job.
Mark, with the injury so early and of the nature, it seemed like with Chet, how tough is that to kind of reel the guys back in?
I don't know. I mean, I think obviously there's human concern. It's their teammate. He's down. I think it was more that than anything. And then, you got to be able to get your footing back in the game, which we did at different times. But credit Golden State. I mean, they were the sharper, better team today.
I mean, obviously we don't have a timetable for Chet, but, assuming he misses some time, you're now without your entire center rotation. Just how difficult is that for you as a coach to not really have the hands you thought you'd be dealing with at the start of the season?
I mean, I'm never going to make that excuse. It's part of the game, and we're going to be adaptive. I mean, we've played small at different times. We'll see what his timetable is, but this is a resilient, tough, competitive, adaptive team, and that's what we're going to be regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, Mark, did you guys come into the game with a more concerted effort to try and get downhill?
Yeah, I mean, they're great at the point of attack. They're really aggressive defense, and so you've got to battle their pressure and physicality with force. I thought we actually did that pretty well. I thought some of our offensive struggles at different times was more after we gained the advantage, not the process of gaining the advantage. I thought we were in the paint quite a bit. We got the type of thrust that we wanted, but didn't complete enough plays. I thought they just outplayed us today on both ends of the floor.
After Chet goes down, it seems like that aspect was somewhat taken away from you guys, getting downhill and having that advantage. And then when you don't have the three-point going the way you guys want to, how tough is it to keep that going?
I thought today, defensively, they were sharp on offense. Again, credit them. I never want to take anything away from a team that plays as sharp as Golden State did today. But I thought our execution against a team that requires great execution just wasn't up to where it needed to be to control a game. And the offense is sometimes going to come and go. There's a shot-making element to everything. But I just thought we didn't execute to the level that we needed to. We had a lot of breakdowns, and against a team like that moves it well with advantages and that can finish plays with shots, it's hard to have breakdowns and beat them.
Were you given further explanation on the play where Draymond had contact with Dort and it was called an unsportsmanlike flail?
Yeah, they said it was a flail and not a wind-up. They looked at the play. That's their call. My frustration was that they called an offensive foul on Dort. Anytime a guy gets hit in the head with an elbow, regardless of whether it's a flail or whatever, that's a replay trigger. They can look at that. And if they don't know what happened, but two guys kind of square up at the end of a play, they should go look at it. There's nothing that prevents them from looking at it. So my frustration was I have to use a coach's challenge to go look at a play that they could have triggered anyways, right? We get the technical foul, which confirms that if they had looked at it without my challenge, they would have granted a technical foul. Then 2 minutes later, ball goes off Curry. We deflect the ball, hits his elbow. I'm staring at the replay. I don't have a challenge in my pocket. Curry hits a 3 on that play, right? So that was my frustration with the officials. It wasn't, an interpretation thing. They're professionals. They know how to interpret the plays. My thing is they got to run the game, and if there's a guy getting hit in the head like that, they got to go look at it. And if they did, they would have found a technical foul. I would have had a challenge in my pocket. I would have challenged the Curry play. We would have had the ball instead of giving up a 3. Now, with that said, we got to we got to play better defense.
Going into the fourth quarter, they start off the second unit that you put in there, including your 2 rookies. 11-0 run. Can you just talk about the excitement that they brought and maybe some energy into you guys with the going into the fourth quarter run that you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, those guys have done that all year. We have good faith in them as competitors. They're going to learn the lessons. The first time you play that team, that's really hard. So Dylan, AJ, those guys, they haven't seen those pictures yet. That's a very different style, that the rest of our team has gotten used to a little bit more. Still hard to stop, obviously, but the compete level of those two players, they've been inside the team from day one. They've given us nice contributions. Dylan really helped us in the Orlando game. AJ's obviously been in the rotation all year, so we're going to continue to invest in them, but they're doing a great job.
That second quarter, they seemed to really get it going from three. What do you feel like the issue was for you guys on the defensive end?
Combination of things. Some of it's shot making, and then some of it's the ones that we played zone one possession. Kuminga bombs a shot in over the zone at the end of the clock. Those are the ones that you just got to brush off and play another possession. And then there's other ones that are true breakdowns that put them into rhythm and give them confidence, and those are the ones we got to clean up.
And what do you feel about you guys' physicality tonight?
I thought our effort and our physicality, our intentions of competing were really good, but against a good team, regardless of who the good team is, you've got to have that and the execution part of it. And we've been a high execution team for much of the season, and tonight we weren't. So,
anybody else?
The Warriors before making the run that they made and giving you guys a chance down the stretch.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job. Obviously made it a game for us. Yeah, they just went out there and did their job. Hats off to them.
Shay, I guess I'll ask you the same thing. Just your reaction to Chet's injury and how tough that maybe is to reel yourself back into the game after seeing that.
Yeah, it's hard. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, it's part of the game, but it sucks.
And the role you played in that fourth quarter when you guys cut it to 6, what did you see maybe from that point on that saw Golden State pull away? After you got pulled to 6.
I'm not sure. We might have ran out of gas a little too late. Didn't have enough time, but we put ourselves in that position. So that's how it goes.
Yeah. From a mentality standpoint, what can you all take from this? Because, like you said, you were down 30 late in the third. I know there's no such thing as a moral victory, but what can you take from a mental standpoint of being able to make the run that you made?
Especially against good teams, you can't go down that big. It's almost impossible to get back. Yeah, got to be better on both ends of the ball for longer periods of time.
Seems like you specifically made a more concerted effort to get downhill and get to the basket tonight. Was that something that you wanted to do against the Warriors?
No, I was just playing.
You mentioned last game about kind of taking what the defense gives you. Have you noticed any difference in terms of how often they're changing their coverages of you?
Sure. Nothing. I haven't seen anything I haven't seen before. Teams have thrown different coverages at me for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm pretty used to it now.
Anybody else for Shaq? Go ahead, Byron. This will be the last one.
Just like when Chet goes out, how did it change everything you had playing the game, playing for a nice game, and everything else? We know about the scoring and rebounding. Did it change anything in terms of just mentally how you approach the game, take more threes, or anything like that? How did it change?
It changed a lot for us defensively, for sure. You guys could probably tell. He does so much on that end of the floor. Cleans up so many things, deters so many things around the rim. When he's not blocking them, he averages like 4 blocks a game. Yeah, it changed a lot for us. Obviously a little wrinkle, but it's part of the game. You got to play through it and try to get a W done. We didn't tonight, but we'll try to do it against Small.
If he's out for a while, does that again? I mean, you go to a different mode, I guess more small mode.
No choice.
You rebound more. I mean, how does that change your approach?
Yeah, we have to figure out. All of us have to figure out how to get stops and rebound. Just the few things that Chet does, but those two most important for sure.
Thank you, Shaq.
Group that started the fourth quarter. What was the feeling like? Watching and feeling that comeback that they made from down 30.
Yeah, they did great. We we needed some juice. The game wasn't really going on our side, and they stepped up big. They went in there and they competed and played really hard and gave us a chance to come back in the game.
You guys, for most of the first half, were able to keep Steph and Hield in check, but it was some of the other guys. Defensively, did you feel like you had in the first half kind of executed how you wanted to force, the Meltons and those guys to try to beat you?
Yeah. We was throwing everything we had on their main guys, and their other guys stepped up, and we gotta give credit to them. But we just gotta go back and get better on that side. But whenever the other guys, not the main guys, having a good game like that, we just gotta tip our hat off and give it to them.
Kind of a follow-up on that game kind of got away from you guys in the second quarter with them hitting 9 threes. Was it just that you guys were paying a little bit too much attention to those main guys with Steph and Buddy?
I would say they was just making good reads, and they was getting, a couple of them was tough shots. Like I said, the guys that had the ball the most made some good reads, and the guys made a lot of shots.
Seemed like a lot of confusion happened with that kind of interaction with you and Draymond, where you guys get the free throw and then he gets the flailing, whatever that thing was. Just kind of from your point of view, how'd that all go down?
It was just competing. I don't think he meant to hit me in my head. He just threw his arm in the air trying to sell the foul. I did grab them, so. I think he was just trying to sell the foul and hit me. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose.
Yeah, how difficult is it to bounce back when something like that, like what happened with Chet, happens, like in the moments after, and to refocus as a player? And you got two different things. You've got what's happened to your teammate physically, and then you've got how you have to adjust as a team defensively. Do you feel that you guys handled both of those things?
It's always tough to see one of our guys go down. He's been working hard, and it's always tough to see somebody get hurt. And it's tough because we've been game planning with him on the floor as well. But at the end of the day, it's just the next man up. We just gotta keep our head up, and the next guy up gotta be ready. Credit to everybody that played tonight. Everybody competed, and our hope Chess get better.
Lou, how difficult is it out there on the floor without really anybody over 6'6"? I mean, the whole center rotation being out. It's not easy. We just got to do everything we got to do to get the rebounds and just really play it harder and do everything we got to do to limit them to one shot. It's not easy, obviously. It would be easier if we had a big man out there with us. But, like I said, it's the next man up. Everybody that plays, got to be ready to play hard and compete.
There's a lot of arenas in the NBA that team gets down by 20, 25 plus, and it empties out, and that's about the end of the night. Can you talk about how much energy the Oklahoma City crowd gave you guys in that fourth quarter when you guys made your run?
Yeah. They gave it a lot of love, a lot of juice. I mean, we was down. The game wasn't going nowhere, and when we started making a couple shots, we're just hearing the crowd behind us. I guess give us more power, and that's just the type of fans we have. Good or bad, they're always gonna stick with us, and that's why we love them so much.
What about the mentality of this team? Because here you guys are down 30. The Warriors are sitting some of their people. You guys are about to go into a back-to-back. Y'all could have just chilled, waited till tomorrow. But y'all fought back in there. Where does that come from in terms of y'all's mental approach?
Just it's a 48-minute game. You got to play the whole game. Like I said, credit to the guys that played the start of the fourth. They really brought us back in the game, and their heads they didn't give up, and they kept competing to bring us back in the game, which they did a good job of that. So like I said, we just got to play the whole game.
Lou, how would you grade y'all's transition defense so far this season, and kind of what goes into being so good on that end?
I don't know what to grade it. I always feel like we've been good at it. There's some nights we've been better or whatever. We're always looking for some room to improvement, but that's just
our game plan and how we play, and some of the guys that we have on the floor that's able to run back and communicate. Room for improvement, but we've been decent so far.
Had some young guys the first time to face Golden State. What is about their offense that makes it difficult especially when they're hitting threes? They had 13 at halftime. What is it that makes it tough to cover up those shooters?
They just make the good reads. We trying to take out their main players, and when they have their plan B guys, making a lot of tough shots. That's when it's hard. Like I said, we tried everything to do we wanted to do to stop their main players, and the other guys got going, and just gotta give a lot of credit to them when they're making shots like that.
You talk to your young guys, because sometimes when people hit threes, you can kind of get down on yourself a little bit mentally. Is that something that you got to watch the young guys to maybe keep themselves up, that, hey, they're going to hit a few, but you got to keep coming?
Yeah. Obviously, they've been watching that team for a long time. They know that team is always going to hit a lot of threes. But in our group, we just had to keep competing. It's basketball. They gotta make shots, and we just gotta keep playing our way and do everything we gotta do to come back in the game.
Anybody else? Go, Andrew. Can I have the last one to Lou?
Have you had many conversations with AJ? He's kind of in a similar position that you've been in, and that a lot of other guys were in, being on a two-way, and then played really well out of the gate, and just. Have you had many conversations with him about that journey?
I had a couple conversations. Like you said, we both started as a two-way, but the way that his story started was way different than mine. I give a lot of credit. He was way more ready than I was, and we can see it on the floor. And the only thing I'm telling him is to keep doing what he's doing, and then it's going to pay off. You can only control what you can control, and go out there and play hard and compete and show that you belong, and then everything else is going to take care of.
What makes you say that he's more ready than you were?
He's playing. I wasn't playing when I first started. As a two-way.
Well, whenever you first got to the team, you did play a lot down the stretch of that season.
Yeah, when the season started, I didn't really play, which he's playing, and he has a lot of minutes. Okay. He feels way more comfortable on the court than I did when I first started myself. But give a lot of credit to them. I know he spent a lot of years in college, and he's way more ready than I was. But like I said, just tell him to keep doing what he's doing.
Thank you, Luke.